What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Giovanni, also known as CryptoJoe11, and today I'm gonna start a new YouTube program called Proof of Code. Proof of Code is going to be a series of YouTube episodes in which I'm gonna be talking about all the things related to Cardano from a technical point of view, produced by the community, being them like a simple software libraries or an API or a project or some piece of infrastructure, so that I can try to fill the gap between whoever is producing something and someone else that might be the end user of this something. Today, in fact, differently from what you've been seeing so far into my YouTube channel, that is mostly related to either how to run a Cardano node, so operational stuff, or how to write smart contracts and solutions to the episodes of the Bluetooth Pioneer program. Today we're going to be talking about another topic that I really care a lot, that is the management of infrastructure, and so operational stuff. Lately I've been a little bit away from YouTube, as I've been extremely busy on multiple fronts. As you know, I'm also part of the Alonso Blue testnet program, so lots of work is going there as well. I haven't really had time to shoot more episodes about the Bluetooth Pioneer program, but more of this definitely is going to come in the next few weeks. But let's go back to the topic of today's video, that is about, as I was mentioning, operational and infrastructure stuff. So without further ado, let's move on the video. So as you can see, today's topic is going to be Dandelion. Dandelion is, as you can see here, Cardano API as a community service, free forever. So Dandelion is nothing else than an open source collection of Kubernetes manifests. I'm actually reading, so Kubernetes manifests used to manage all the official Cardano APIs and services that are required to interact with the Cardano blockchain. So you can think of all the services like a Cardano node, Cardano DB Sync, a PostgreSQL instance, API GraphQL, and Ogmios Explorer, that I think though has been deprecated, the Submit API. So everything that can be used, that has been produced as an official service by the Cardano API, but the Cardano blockchain, you can manage them via this open source project. The open source project has been initiated by Larep Systems, Ricardo, very active on the community as well, tech community sites. He is part, the project is now a community supported project by Gimba Labs. Please check them out. And lately I started to cooperate on this project because I have a little bit of expertise in this case, and I wanted really to help to take Dandelion to the next stage. We know that in the ecosystem, the Cardano ecosystem, there are already solutions about this. Some of these are open, some of these are closed. The philosophy, my philosophy, and the Gimba Labs philosophy is to go open source first. So yeah, I decided to cooperate with them and leverage all my experience to really improve this project. And more than improve is to take to the next stage. So bring it from like a great project to an amazing one. So there were a few challenges, and I decided to take a couple of them on board. I've also been working with a couple of community members, and the results so far are really promising. In the space of 2-3 weeks, we've made very long strides. So let's move a little bit further. If you check from the Gimba Labs website, you can see that there is like a little bit of a longer description of what is included. There is the Explorer, as was mentioned, this one has been deprecated though. There is the Submit API, GraphQL API, and then there is the Ogmios API as well. plus another couple of APIs like Rosetta and of course, fundamental Cardano DB Sync and Postgres API that can be used to access the data. There is also a little bit of coming soon here. Just check them out if this is something you might be interested in. Let's dive right into the project now. Customize Dandelion for those of you. So Dandelion is focused to two main group of people with one objective, with one goal, with one vision in mind. That is the one to fill the gap between the blockchain and newcomers developers. Made them be really experienced or fresh out the university, fresh out of college. So you know that if you want to interact with the blockchain, Cardano requires you to run a node, but the Cardano node at the moment is only accessible via other APIs. It's very difficult to interact with the Cardano CLI. Lots of reasons that if you're an engineer or developers that is trying to approach to develop on Cardano for the first time, you know that there are lots of obstacles. So what we wanted to do is to provide a set of community managed services that could simply expose the API GraphQL and the submit API that are basically the two key components that are required to interact with the blockchain, so that new developers could very quickly start to work on their project, submit requests, explore the blockchain, instead of having to spend hours and hours setting up a new node, setting up the Cardano node, API GraphQL, all these kind of jazz that are also very complicated to solve, to run. So if the main goal is to build something for the new developers, there is also another goal, another mission, that is the one of making the management, the running and the evolution of these APIs as simple as possible. And this is the reason why Roberto decided to go with a very opinionated solution to use Kubernetes, and I think that is a beautiful solution because it's a state-of-the-art container orchestration, widely adopted in the traditional tech environment, and this is a perfect fit also for this type of services for blockchain. I have 5 years of experience on Kubernetes as well, so I decided to go all in on this and then build on top of this one. So if part of the vision is to make the life easier to developers, another part of the vision here is to make operational engineers' life even easier and to try to establish, I don't want to say a standard, but a baseline solution for all the engineers, operational engineers that really want to build on infrastructure, the L2 layer on Cardano, to have a one-stop shop from where to start from. And because this is all open source, they can chime in and improve and build on this even more, and to really make this project to grow as I did. And I invite everyone to do the same as well if you have this kind of experience. Joy from the community has done the same, has helped me out on the observability stack that we will see in a minute. So one of the first things I was working on was the two main themes I've been working on so far. The first one is the actual bootstrapping of the cluster. This was already very powerful using leveraging Kustomize, that is basically a Kubernetes as part of the Kubernetes kubectl command line, but I also wanted to add something visual, and this is the reason why we adopted ArgoCD. So you can follow now the requirements to run all the things. There are two ways of bootstrapping the cluster. If you are a pro user, you may decide to go with vanilla Kustomize, but if you like also a little bit of a very powerful API, we recommend, of UI, we recommend to use ArgoCD, for which there is a different document page. So at the moment the documentation is still very skinny. I plan to beef it up in the next few weeks, but there is enough to get you started. So without further ado, let's start to get to get this party started. So what we're going to do today, very, very briefly, is to basically, I have a Kubernetes cluster already running on Scaleway. This is outside of the, I just want to give you a teaser and taster of what Dandelion is, how to manage it, how to visualize, and also from an observability point of view. For the operational side of things, much further in-depth videos and documentation will be provided later on. I just want to give you guys an idea of what I've been working so far in the past 2-3 weeks, and what is the reason why you haven't seen my face much on the YouTube lately. So so I really hope you're finding this thing useful. Please subscribe, like, let me know what you think about this, give me comments, let me know if you think this is a good idea, if this is a bad idea, and yeah. So this is let's follow the documentation. The first thing that we have to do, as you can see, I am in the customized Dandelion project, and I'm also in the ArgoCD bootstrap folder, and basically from here we are going basically to bootstrap ArgoCD. What is ArgoCD? There is a nice link to ArgoCD. ArgoCD, as the name says, is CD stands for continuous deployment. And Argo is a platform developed by the Argo project. It is a cloud-native compute foundation incubating official project. Now it's not incubated anymore, and it's basically one of the most widely adopted way of continuously deploying on Kubernetes. This gives a very nice advantage. The first one is that because it has an API in a UI, you can clearly see what's deployed and what's stuck, what's broken. You can restart things very quickly, and we'll see in a minute. And the second thing is that if you have to evolve the platform, you can do this very, very easily by just updating the Kubernetes manifests that are basically the representation of what's running on the cluster. And then ArgoCD will help you to make progressive and gradual deployment, keep your system updated, etc., etc., etc. Read about it, it's fantastic. It also has a very, very powerful way of bootstrapping the cluster that is called App of Apps. The link is here. Again, I recommend you to take a look at this, because what we're putting up here today is unbelievable powerful, and we genuinely believe this is going to be adopted more and more. We also have a Catalyst project, Catalyst proposal. There is so much I should be talking about. I just want to show you what this is about, to give you a sense of what I have been working and what the Gimbal Labs group has been working on and what I'm helping out with. So we just have to run these two things. We are using Helm, that is a packet manager for Kubernetes. This is just a way of just updating the charts, getting the last version. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but there is so much to say and to do. Then the next step is to create the ArgoCD namespace. I think I was doing some tests. It's already existing here, and the next thing that I have to do is, oops, this documentation is outdated. This is the latest one, and here this is I tell you that I was using Scaleway and that I'm using testnet, so I'm going to be deploying just 2 parameters. So if you have if you're planning to deploy this thing to AWS, we're going to be providing an AWS values file with all the characteristic inside. And if you want mainnet, you just create a different mainnet. So you see there is just like one file, and you can customize your deployment. Mainnet, testnet, whichever cloud provider you want. At the moment, we only support Scaleway, but just if you want to do this on AWS, just issue pull request, slap all the parameters you think you need, and then we'll get you started. If you have questions, just hit me up at CryptoJoe101 on Twitter, or reply to the comments. You can find me very easily on the social media. We just do this and we install everything. Also, I forgot to say, and I'm gonna take this 5 seconds break, I'm also a stake pool operator of the stake pool with the ticker EASY1. If you want to support me and my work and all the time doing, please delegate to my stake pool. It's extremely important to me, as I am currently unemployed, and community support, I'm not asking money to anyone. If you want to donate, just donate, it's fine. But if you want to support and still earning you rewards, just delegate with me. We're hitting 2 millions now. Hopefully we're going to be minting blocks. I still have 0% variable fee, and today is the 8th of June 2021. Hopefully I'm going to be able to increase those fee once I hit a little bit of a higher stake, like 3, 4, 5 millions. And yeah, look, deployment is done, so we can now check get namespaces. We can see that ArgoCD has been installed. There are also 2 namespaces, one for Dandelion mainnet, one for Dandelion testnet. At the moment, we're only focusing on testnet, so let's check what's it in here. I guess that at the moment it's still empty. Get So we're gonna get the pods, and this is still empty. That's perfectly correct because this is exactly what we wanted. Now we can go and check our UI, and look how beautiful this is. So I was telling you, ArgoCD at the moment is just deploying using a local DNS. You can't reach, if you try to load this in your browsers, it's not gonna work, but I've made a little bit of a trick with the IP and DNS, and you can see that already there is all of this deployed on our Kubernetes cluster. First and foremost, observability. So we have our monitoring and alerting stack deployed by default, and it's all here. There is traffic, that is the service monitor. We have a few other things, and this is the Prometheus stack with all the things deployed inside, and there is Prometheus, Grafana, Loki, you name it. This is because basically help us, and this is the UI. You can see that there are ArgoCD, Dex, whatever, and if we okay, of course, you can't see the Dandelion stuff, the Cardano API stuff just yet because I haven't deployed them yet. But let's go back to the main thing. Init 0 is the Postgres SQL instance, and then we see that those two guys are still in yellow because they have to be updated. Well, let's ignore for a second init 0 Postgres SQL because it's just like oops, it's all updated, so we have to sync this one. This is basically install the Postgres SQL stuff. You can see how freaking quick this thing is. This is basically creating a Postgres SQL high availability pool of Postgres databases on Kubernetes, one click of a finger. And it took, the synchronization succeeded. This still shows still is in progress just because the HA is still loading, but this is gonna turn green just in a minute. So we spawn our Postgres SQL, and now it's time. So these are all the resources of Dandelion testnet. This is basically nothing installed. I just press sync. That basically means deploy. There are also automatic synchronization. We haven't enabled that yet. It's just because as we are working on developing this platform, I just want to get a sense of what's happening at which stage. So if there are issues, I can monitor step by step. And it took 10 seconds, and basically the chart is synchronized. This doesn't mean that this is running yet, but it has been initialized. So for instance, the first thing that needs to happen is all the containers needs to be created, and then the blockchain needs to be downloaded, and the Cardano DB sync needs to do its magic. But it is this simple to deploy it. So we worked really hard, we worked weeks in order to make the deployment and the management of all those APIs as fast as a button click of a mouse, a snap of a finger. And then you have this thing done. No more compiling stuff, no more trying to understand where password goes, where sockets go, the DB node this, the DB node socket, and this and that. We have covered everything for you. You just install, you need to learn a little bit about Kubernetes, but we do the rest for you. And everything is running, everything is green. And then while I'm talking, this is start to deploy, and then as soon as I have a couple of containers running, I'm also gonna show you how also it is to access logs from here. Now, it's not a full-blown logs search, whatever, but this gives you a nice way of just, instead of messing with the UI, instead with the CLI, you just click on something, you just access the logs, and you can see if something is throwing up a ton of errors or if things are working as usual. It's a very quick debug. It tells you a lot. It gives you lots of ideas. And if you then want to go into the nitty-gritty details of the logs, then you go to the CLI. But in here, you can see everything that is running. So there are lots of filters. There is the network filter, so you can see services, you can see pods. Here things are still loading, but anyway, you can see here all the network communication stuff. If you prefer a little bit of a more vanilla approach, then instead of having all the components here, you can filter by the deployment things, so stateful set, pod, and deployments, and so you can see all the services where they're running. Here, for instance, there is an issue. Of course, there is an issue. We will be fixing them as we go. But for instance, here are the logs, and we can go and check. Authentication failed. Oh, jeez, this is blinking very fast. So, yeah, possibly one of the services hasn't started yet, or in this case, the authentication failed. Right, there is a broken password somewhere. I will have to go and fix it. But yeah, and this means that everyone, if someone was having this thing broken, someone because this is open source, someone else could have jumped right in, fix this one in one place, and have it fixed for everyone else. So right, in the meantime, we do have Asura is running, GraphQL still pod initializing. Let's see. I think that here there is a pull request missing, and this is the reason why those two bad boys are still failing. Where is the Cardano node? Cardano node hasn't started yet. I want to show you the logs from Cardano node. In the meantime, while this thing is starting, we quickly go through the Grafana. Grafana and Prometheus, those are the two possibly mostly adopted open source products on Kubernetes used for monitoring and alerting. Here there is a ton of pre-baked what's it called, charts with dashboards with all the data inside. Of course, this there we go. You can see that in the last 5 minutes, those APIs started. They're saying how much CPU is used, if there is any CPU throttling, there is nothing, memory usage, all this kind of stuff. And this is all available for you at just one click, snap of the fingers. Let's see, there should be also networking. Let me see if we have enabled this one yet. You want to know how much network bandwidth is being used currently on the Kubernetes cluster? It's all here for you. One snap of a finger, you don't have to configure anything. This is already working for you. Of course, we can make it more powerful, more reliable, more complete, but this is already very extremely powerful baseline. Let's go back to the pods. The pods are the basically the containers running in your cluster. Let's go into the Dandelion testnet. In the meantime, there we go. Things are starting to run. Let's just reduce to the past 5 minutes because I literally just started this one. And you can see what is the CPU usage. And you can click on Cardano node, you can click on Rosetta, you can click on Cardano GraphQL. Of course, it's 0 because no one is using it yet. This is DB sync that is quickly going up. And we can see now that the Cardano node is definitely running. You just go here, Cardano logs, and look at this. All the logs are here. Of course, this is impossible to read, but because now it's the loading blockchain, whatever. But to normal usage, you will see less logs, and if something was broken, and you would see like massive error, you know that something is broken. But yeah, this is pretty much it. And again, you can see here that there is Cardano GraphQL, Rosetta, Submit API, metrics exporter, Asura. This is for the metrics. Asura for that is powering the GraphQL API, Oxmio, Postgres SQL, Postgres WebSocket, Postgres SQL, Cardano DB, Cardano node. Look how many things we already installed for you. And the next step that we're going to be doing is parameterize all those things. So let's say you just want a node GraphQL DB sync. You just set no to everything else, and you have the things running for you. A couple of things haven't bootstrapped yet. It's gonna take a while before all those things are gonna, like 5-10 minutes before everything is gonna be up and running. There you go. It's funny, it happened as I was talking. Actually, everything is running now. I think Postgres WebSocket and Postgres SQL hasn't started yet because depending API hadn't bootstrapped. But now everything is running. Just wanna pause for a second for the dramatic thing. Everything is running. And what we've done is one command. This. You do understand. This is all we've done. And there is UI, monitoring, alerting, dashboards, and all the things Cardano. So what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing? It's a bad thing? If you were an SPO, if you are an SPO, would you run this one now? And if we were able to also monetize something like this, would you be interested into that? Let me know with a comment, hit me on Twitter, and thank you very much for watching. And remember, I'm a stake pool operator, easy one. If you believe I'm onto something, that I'm building something that is useful for the community, yeah, delegate to me. It's going to be very appreciated. And this is going to really help me dedicating even more time to this project that are all open source. I'm not getting paid for this. This is a contribution I'm giving to the community. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. And if you have any topic you want me to cover, let me know so that the next episode of Proof of Code, this is my new program that's going to be running about all the things Cardano. And yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you to the next video. Delegate to easy one.